I'm Andy, vote for me and get laid, Morris. I'm running with the Squelch Party.
Hi, my name is Beverly Ellithorpe, Getmo with Bevmo Ellithorpe, and I'm also running for Senate under the Dance Party.
Hey everyone, my name is Oscar Maidana. I'm running for ASUC President with CalSTRB, Cal Students for Equal Rights and the Ballot Education.
Hey everyone, my name is Will Smelko and I'm running for President with Student Action, Unite Greek, and Apple Engineering.
Hi, my name is Ronald Cruz and I'm running for both President and Senate with Defend Affirmative Action Party.
We have 3 questions for the presidential candidates. They each have 2 minutes to respond. Hold your applause until all of the candidates have spoken. The first question is, this semester, partisan battles and the recall election of Senator John Moxider put ASUC President Roxanne Winston in a position in which she acted as a neutral figure outwardly, despite her personal views on the recall. Given that the role of the ASUC president largely boils down to a figurehead position, where do you feel your personal views would come into play if elected? Again, this semester, partisan battles and the recall election of Senator John Moxider put ASUC President Roxanne Winston in a position in which she acted as a neutral figure outwardly, despite her personal views on the recall. Given that the role of the ASUC president largely boils down to a figurehead position, where do you feel your personal views would come into play if elected? The order for this question is Oscar, Will, Beverly, Ronald, Andy.
Hey everyone. So first of all, just constitutionally speaking, the ASUC president is supposed to do 3 things, right? And that's make sure to maintain the well-being of the organization, to represent the organization to administration, and a veto in case that ever comes up. But what that means, that there's a lot of leeway in what it says to maintain the well-being of the organization, right? So I just want to emphasize that is such an important thing because the ASUC president is here to actually maintain the well-being of the organization. That can mean that anything, I would not use my personal opinion to impose my position onto the campus. And I know that there's tricky water there because my personal opinion can be misconstrued as what the ASUC feels. But I will make sure that as president, I use my position to ensure that the ASUC's well-being is being maintained in different ways. Whether that's following what the Constitution calls for, like you said, a recall election that was called upon by 1,000 signatures, not necessarily by the ASUC Senate or by individuals in the ASUC. So it's really important to highlight the fact that there's a reason why the ASUC president is allowed to take certain stances, and that's so long as we're maintaining the well-being of the organization. But it's really important to not use that title to impose your opinions on someone else and on the student campus. And so that's my
Thank you. Will's next.
Thank you. So I'd first like to start out by saying that in the financial crisis that we're in, it is extremely irresponsible to work and to allow or let your personal opinions contribute to a recall election that costs $20,000. I think, first and foremost, even if you assume it's okay to let your personal stance get involved in this whole issue, you have to be sure of what you're saying in the first place. Assuming it's not, which I think it should not play a factor at all. I believe that the responsibility of good leadership, not a responsibility, it's more of a burden. When you take this on, you have to understand that you become a role model. And people look up to you. And when you tell a group of people or a listserv or your friends something, that they look up to you as the ASUC president and they'll take your word for it. And that might allow something to happen that may or may not otherwise happen. I believe you should leave something like a recall election, which allows for 1,000 signatures to be gathered, to the students themselves. And as the previous speaker mentioned, so look out for the overall health and well-being of the Senate is the job of the ASUC president. So I believe, if anything, you should be able to talk to the students about what is actually at stake. What does $25,000, what does $20,000 mean in the financial crisis? Where are student groups going to get cut from? Who's going to get money taken away from them? And how much it really means to show both sides of the issue and never letting your personal stance affect this. Because I think, as we've seen this year, divisiveness has killed our Senate, has hurt our ASUC, and has hurt our overall health. And as somebody who sees himself as a better listener, than a speaker. I think it's important not to talk at people about what our views are, but to listen and to hear them out and to let students have the say in what goes on, rather than spreading stuff and spreading ideas in their heads as your position, which is extremely influential.
Thank you. Beverly?
As a president, it is very important to take into account other students' needs and what their voice, and to really listen to what their voice has to say. As president, it is very important to maintain a neutral position, especially in such a heated issue as the recall election. As we can see, it is something that the entire Cal community has been affected by because it is cutting about $20,000 of the student budget. So it is really important to really focus on what students are saying and to respect their opinions and to really maintain that neutral position and not let my personal views or what I feel would influence other students. I think it's really important to encourage students to look at the issues, to get themselves informed, and then to act upon the information that is presented to them.
Thank you. Ronald, you're next.
Apart from the issue of the recall, I completely disagree with the idea that the president, elected by the majority of the student body, should withdraw their personal opinions and act as a neutral person. That person is representing the student body and should fight and say their views on whole sets of issues, from the war in Iraq to the tuition hikes to affirmative action. And Obama ran for office saying, if you elect me, I'm going to be completely neutral on every issue. We wouldn't have voted for him.
Right.
The reason is because we think the U.S. president actually should act in our interests and not simply be a painting on the wall. And I think that, we proudly say we are the Defend Affirmative Action Party. We proudly say we defend immigrant rights. We proudly say we're for the DREAM Act. We proudly say we're for gay rights. We proudly say we're for massive funding for public higher education so that we can start to tackle the environmental problems right now. And I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to give generalities saying I'm going to listen to everybody in order not to offend anybody, in order to not lose votes and get elected.
Thank you, Ronald. Andy? You're up.
First, I just want to say that the email that got sent out suggested that we become business casual, and I'm really upset that none of the other candidates followed that. This guy's in a suit over here, business formal. There's a distinction. And I think we should all hold. As president, I don't think you should have any opinions over anything except one thing. We're on college for a reason. We're not here to learn anything. We're all here to have sex with one another. That is why we come to college, to have random sex with people we don't know. Probably never call them again. That should be the ASUC's only goal, is to help facilitate that. There really is no other reason. I mean, if elected, I'm going to spend my entire stipend, all my money, on getting students drunk, so that they are comfortable enough to sleep with one another. But I'll spend this money in the Bears Lair. Now, if you don't know, the Bears Lair is part of the ASUC auxiliary, and the money goes right back into the ASUC. So really, this is a win-win situation. Everyone gets drunk, everyone gets laid, and the ASUC doesn't really lose any money for it.
The second question is, many of you have expressed lofty goals you'd like to achieve if you were elected as ASUC president. Please explain your platform and how you plan to achieve these goals, the goals it entails, given current budget constraints. Again, many of you have expressed lofty goals you'd like to achieve if you were elected as ASUC president. Please explain your platform and how you plan to achieve the goals it entails, given current budget constraints. The order is Andy, Ronald, Oscar, Beverly, Will.
So I don't know how many of you have tried it, but